Hey everyone, this is Rachel and welcome to another scrapbooking process video. If you hang out until after the video is through, there are always detailed shots of my current layout. Let's get going! Hey everyone, I am here with another scrapbooking process video. Today I am working with Simple Stories Winter Wonderland, and I have four 4x6 photos, although I'm probably going to cut at least one, if not more, down just a little bit. Okay, folks, my dog Sadie is wandering around, so if you hear tap dancing, that is why. I'm going to go ahead and get you guys put on fast forward, so let's get going. Cut this photo down to 4x4. I did not need the giant muddy road in front of it. I'm actually going to end up cutting all four of these photos down, but I'm going to start right now with just these two. So these are photos from, I took a trip with my family up to old Sturbridge Village, which is in Massachusetts, but it's like really close to where not really close to, but it's close to the Connecticut border. So it's not a far trip for us. And we went up for Maple Days, which is they show you the old-fashioned way how they used to make maple syrup. And I actually did a double-page layout about that, and I'm actually going to do another layout about this day, but I wanted to tell different stories about the day, so I'm doing it in three separate layouts. One is just kind of an overview of doing, sorry, if you see me doing that, I'm watching Hocus Pocus. When I filmed this, it was the October 1st, and that's when we find it socially acceptable to start watching Hocus Pocus. And I Put a Spell on You by Bette Midler came on, so I was dancing a little bit. Tangent, sorry. So as I was saying, I wanted to tell several different stories, so we took a ton of photos. It was a beautiful day. We had a lot of fun. And so this is just one of the stories I wanted to talk about was how much I really enjoy covered bridges, and they have a covered bridge. A lot of the things in Sturbridge Village, they've taken things that are going to be abandoned or knocked down or are being replaced, and they will take them apart. Like they took apart an old kiln, they took apart old houses from like the 18 and 1900s, and they, you know, take them all apart, like noting where everything goes, and then they put them back up. They restore them and put them back up in their village. So it's really, really interesting because this is a covered bridge from, oh, sugar, I don't remember when exactly it's from, but it's not, they didn't build it brand new. They took it from somewhere that was going to be, I want to say, oh, sugar, I read the plaque where it came from. I want to say they were building a larger bridge. This was like the original bridge of somewhere in Vermont. And so they took it from Vermont and rebuilt it up in Massachusetts. So, anyway, I just was saying how much I really like covered bridges, and so I wanted to do a layout, not necessarily really about Old Sturbridge Village at all, but just the fact that I really do like covered bridges. So that was basically the whole point of me doing this separate layout rather than including these photos on my Sturbridge Village layout. So I have these photos. Now I've taken these papers from Winter Wonderland. I'm going to use the snowflake paper as my background. Then I have that multicolor floral and pine cone paper. And I love the fact that there's flowers and pine cones in the same paper. That just tickles my fancy. And then I have edged that with some birch tree style wood grain paper as well. So I had originally planned on doing this horizontally, that big floral piece, but then when I was gluing the birch pieces on, I'm like, oh, you know what? I actually kind of like this vertically. So now I want to get all four of those photos on the floral piece. So that's when I went and I trimmed down the other two photos. Now this is obviously very busy pattern wise. So I'm looking for a spot to put my title, and then I'm distracted by the plaid branding strip. So I go ahead and ink that up also. Everything is inked up with, I want to say pumice stone. I think that's what I went with. Um, So I'm looking at that notebook paper that's under my scissors right now as a resting spot for my title, but that's when I was distracted by the plaid piece from the branding strip. That is going to work. It's not going to be as tall as it is right now, but I like the way that looks. Now I have that because I had used a piece as a border. So I had gutted that piece of paper, and that's what's left over, that notebook paper, as I'm ignoring the fact that I found this light blue floral and pinecone piece. It's basically the same as that cream piece. That's my main part of my background, but it's blue. The flowers and pine cones are much larger, and they're not as tightly designed. They're like kind of blown up, blown out more. Okay, so I have everything all together now. All of my papers all set except this notebook paper, which is what I keep trying to talk about, but I keep interrupting myself because I'm awesome like that. Anyway, so I had gutted a piece of paper using an older Fiskars that desperately needs to have a new blade, but I only ever use it when I'm gutting paper, so I don't want to spend the money on a new blade. So instead, I end up with raised edges when I cut with it, and then I just trim it off because it takes twice as much work, but it's half the price. All right, I'm going to go ahead and ink up the notebook paper and place that down where I want it. And then I'm going to go ahead and get my photos down as well. Because there's so much brown and there's so much nature, and they're like the people in the photo are relatively small, I felt I could go with this busy pattern. I mean, if you watch me at all, you know I tend to be on the busy side of scrapbooking, but for this one, this pattern on pattern on pattern on pattern, this definitely was simply because my photos would still stand out even with all that pattern. I'm going through, for this collection, I have the chipboard pieces, which came on a 6x12 sheet, and I popped them out because they kept popping out on their own and driving me nutty. So I just went ahead and popped them out and put them in a little baggie. And then I also have the ephemera pieces, the 4x6 sticker pack, and the enamel dot. So I bought quite a bit of this. I love the colors in this. I talked about a couple weeks ago, I did a layout about winter, and I talked about the Cartabella warm and cozy and how I can't believe I bought so much of that when I don't really do outdoorsy things. For me, Winter Wonderland, the color palette of it lends to, I could talk about indoor things done during the winter whilst using this. Whereas the other one was very Arctic-y or very ski lodge, and for that, I felt it really, for some reason, even though in this one there are pine cones and snowshoes and definitely outdoor themed things, it just, in my brain, it works that I could talk about winter things, but not necessarily winter outdoor things. Okay, I've done my title using the 6x12 stickers. I forgot I have those as well. For the word bridge, I used the Snap alphas for the word covered, and I'm going to add another one in a second here. I see that as I'm adding these pinecone floral pieces in both the chipboard and the stickers, I see that little tab piece that says Frosty, so my entire title will be Frosty Covered Bridge. I'm also adding that plaid heart sticker, and I'm going to layer that underneath some more of the pinecone and floral swags, and then I'm going to add some floral stickers as well. Now I've got that giant tree chipboard piece at the bottom, and I really like the way that looks. I have that layered with what's going to be my journaling spot. You are not going to see my journaling on camera here today. This is one of the layouts I've pre-written my journaling for, and I was too lazy to go and get my Kindle to write it out. I will be totally honest. I have written it since now, but while I was doing that, I was just like, yeah, I don't feel like going and getting my Kindle so I can write it down. Just there you go. All right, I am in that little embellishment cluster at the bottom. I'm adding some more floral pieces, and when I went to peel the chipboard backing off, I just peeled the entire bottom layer, and I just kind of went, we're just gonna roll with it. So I went ahead and just added the glue to the actual chipboard. I'm just gonna hold that down for a second simply because it soaks in a little bit, so I just want to make sure there's a lot of pressure there. So I also used as base layers for those embellishment clusters some square stickers from the 4x6 pack, and now I am adding some enamel dots to finish off my layout today. Thank you guys so much for joining me here. If you could flick me a thumbs up, that would be super awesome. I'm trying to do multiple colors, and whenever I try to do that, I always lose track of which enamel dot in which size goes in which cluster. But I have finally managed it, and everything is lovely and done, so yay. I'm considering if there's anything else I can add, and I don't think there's anything else I could possibly add to this layout. Alright folks, once again, thanks so much for watching, have a great day, and bye!